Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Jennifer Mazery. So I just wanted to do this video about custom chaps. So I was on the market for buying some custom chaps and I found it a little bit challenging to buy them because I felt like nobody had any YouTube videos about them, and plus to even like find anybody who makes them was a little bit challenging for me. So I wanted to create this video so maybe if you're looking for custom chaps, this will kind of make your life a little easier. So, the one thing I noticed right away is that there was only two places that like actually did them, and one being Dover Saddlery, and the other one being Olson Tack. So I'm just going to go through my experiences with both of them, just share how it went. So let me just share my screen with you. Give me a moment here to just share. Okay. Okay. So here we have Dover, and just bring it to the top. I have, okay. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to start fresh. Custom Chaps. So it says at four 1995, and that's the start. That does not include all the extras. So it ships directly from manufacturer, and expedited shipping is not available. So they make them um basically for exactly what you want. Now, I really like these. When I saw these, I really liked them, and I went through the pictures. It looked very promising when I was looking through all the pictures. And then I was like, okay, that sounds good. Let me. So it says, due to customer nature of product, contact customer service at the number to order. So I did contact Dover at the customer service line. And right away, the woman said to me she would have somebody get back to me, which she did. She did get back to me in like 3 days. She did email me a color chart, which is a little bit different than the colors they have online, like swatches that they have available. And she told me if I had any questions, just email her back and she'll be, glad to answer any questions. Now, the only issue I had with that was that, like, the colors that were in the original color chart, which I'll show you compared to the one she showed me, were very different. And I just didn't really know how to put the colors together, because I don't know, for some reason, I'm just not good with colors. So I did tell her that. I said, how do I see the colors, to make sure that that's the color scheme I want to have, for the piping and the chap itself. And she's like, oh, not a problem. Just let me know what color and we'll email you the swatches next to each other. So I was like, okay, great. So I'm going to go on to customer questions. I'm going to click on here and I'm going to scroll down to custom chaps. Just give you an overview of how it looked. So here is the half chap, but we want the full chap. So here's the full chap. Um, so here is the measuring that you would have to do. You would have to measure at home. Obviously, somebody's going to have to measure you. It's so important to get the correct out seam and the correct inseam, because if you don't have that, then the chap is not going to fit you correctly. And you want the chap to fit tight when it comes. So it's important to have or find somebody that can measure you properly. Um, I actually went to my seamstress and then I watched a YouTube video on top of it. So when I went to the seamstress, I knew what to tell her to measure, because honestly, in the beginning, she was a little confused. I don't think she was um used to getting chaps. So, like I said, I look at the price. It says 419.95. And you're gonna put your height, your weight, your measurements in here. And then I just did all of my right leg. Now, like I said, I did not do it for this company. I actually used another company, but leather for legs. Um, So it looks like here that you can get a swatch, but they did not offer me any swatches. Um, Leather for the trim. It wants the top yolk, and then it wants smooth or rough. Now, I don't know about you, but like I need to have the colors next to each other, and considering that the colors that they had in their color wheel, let me just show you if I can. It was just a little challenging to figure out because, first of all, none of the colors that they were showing me in their color wheel were even present. Let me see if I can find these now. They were totally different colors. I was actually very shocked when I saw that, and that's what kind of turned me off. This is not the best. But, I was even thinking about doing the rust ostrich and doing a book like a regular like brown leather or something like that. You know what I mean? I thought that would look good, but when I got the color wheel, the ostrich wasn't even there. So I was like, oh, I'm like, that's no good. So that was a little bit of a turn off. And then it says the color of the leg stripe. Do you want smooth grain, rough out? Many choices. And obviously you can see if like you have it a certain way, it's more money. And I just didn't want to do this not knowing what I was going to get. And that's how I was feeling. I was like, am I going to put this order in and I'm not going to be happy what I'm getting? Leg piping, another question. Smooth out, rolled braid to a stripe, two rolled pipings, colors, like 59.95, 30. It wasn't even about the price, but it's like what choices am I making here? You know? Smooth out. I knew I didn't want fringe. So that would definitely be, that way. That was another choice I had to make. You know, buck stitching is an option, zipper, brass zipper, or aluminum zipper. And depending on what type of, I guess, color, maybe you'll get the brass zipper. Another thing, snap closure, silver buckle closure, just other options. Do you want a buckle back, a lace back? Do you want a plain back, a sweep heart back? Special cuff? Definitely not. Leg reinforcement? No, unless you're a pro rider and you're riding like 8 horses a day, no, you don't need that. These are little things to decide. And then the other thing is the background. How are you going to have your name put on there? Is there a different way to put on there? Is there a different, like, because I know this other one I'm going to show you is other tack place had a unique way of putting the the name on there, or do you want needleback, extras, D-bit motif? What the heck is that? So these are just a couple of things. And then did you notice this? This went from 3.99. Didn't it say 4.19 before? I thought it did. So these are all things that are a little confusing to me as I was going through and turned me off completely. Because I'm a person, if I'm going to spend this much money with you, I want to have at least somebody on the line with me. I don't care if it's Zoom. I don't care if it's a phone call. Let's work this out. So in my discovery, I wind up finding this other company called Olson's Tack. Now they do have custom products. I'm just going to bring you back to this page again so you can see. So they have custom helmets, they have custom boots, custom half chaps, custom full chaps. So right away, I went onto their site and I'm like, oh, I'm like these look nice, different than Dover, you know what I mean? And they're a bit pricey. They start at $6.99 for the full chaps versus, excuse me, Dover was at like $4.19 for the full chap. And look at the variety of colors. You have this color wheel, you have this color wheel. Like there's so many options. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Then I'm getting ideas for my chaps. I'm like, oh, look at this, and I like this sort of setup without the fridge, of course. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, look at this. And then, oh, we can have possibly, put my name on there with a gold stamp, like I guess like a plate, you call it. But there were so many more options, and I just felt like there was just different ways of doing things. And so here's another beautiful chap. Ideas. So, long story short, what wound up happening is I was researching through the website. I'm like, okay, I'm like, these look good. Obviously, they have no other options on here to look at. I'm like, what do I do? Well, it says email them, which I did. if you have any questions. So I emailed them, and right away, this gentleman named Mike got back to me, and he set up a Zoom. Do you read this? It says chaps and custom half chaps are available at Olson's Tax. Schedule an appointment to work with one of our specialists in store or via Zoom. I'm like, yes, via Zoom. Possibilities are endless. However, we'll post some of our favorites below. Starting at $6.99 for full chaps and then $3.99 for half chaps. Delivery is approximately about 8 weeks, but they're made in the USA. So long story short, I have this Zoom and I can't even show you guys my chaps yet because I don't have them, but I will definitely show you once I get them and we can do a little video on that. But um just bring it back a little bit. So the point is I had this wonderful Zoom with Olson Tack about these chaps. We went through everything from the top of the chap all the way to the bottom of the chap. He even showed me the swatches together. Like he's like, at first I wanted navy blue. At first I'm like, oh yeah, navy blue is a great, color for my chap because I want to have something classic. And he's like, he holds up the navy blue, and then he has this like dark blue, like right next to him, and he's like, oh, this is navy and this is ocean. I'm like, oh, I love that ocean color blue. So right away, I'm like, you know what? Let's just skip the navy blue. Let's do the ocean. He actually walked me through the whole chap and how to create the whole chap from the top to the bottom. You know, asking me, what kind of rider I was, and then we even went through like what kind of buckle I wanted to get. We talked about, I think 5 different buckles. We talked about which buckle I wanted to get. At one point in time, we even like talked about the back. And let me just show you the back. I know we're going to go back to my video again, but let me just show you the back. So I just want to show you this. This is just so magnificent. So even the back, we talked about getting me these ocean blue chaps with like a light blue and a white piping. And I decided I didn't want this little squiggle thing because I just always felt like, it's extra money. Don't get the squiggle. Why pay extra money for a squiggle when we can put it somewhere else, right? So this is another option that they had. So you can actually have like a different color in here. So I'm gonna have like an ocean blue over here, a light blue in the center, and then my initials in white. I thought that was very interesting. And I loved that that Mike was able to go through this journey with me and sit there and put everything out there of what the chap would look like, what I wanted, go through all the swatches, show me the swatches, help me find different like color schemes that went together. Because like at one point I was like, oh, well, maybe we should do the ocean blue, black and then like the light blue. And he's like, okay, well, let's see how this looks. And he would hold it up. And I was like, I really don't like that. And then he would pull up another, color scheme. Like there was the ocean blue, the light blue, and the gray. That was another option. So that's what was so great about building these chaps. There were so many options, and it was so like welcoming. It was so nice. It was so comfortable, and it was just, it was a really good experience. And at the end of the call, I said to him, I'm like, okay, well, let me know how much. And, he said, listen, I can either type up a whole invoice and send it to you, or I could tell you right now, how much. I said, listen, just type up an invoice if you don't mind and just sending it to me so I can just look at everything and price wise of how much I bought, of how much I, configured and everything like that. And no rush, do you want to do this? Do you not want to do this? It's okay. And then the other thing option that I absolutely loved about this whole experience is, let's say when I get the chaps, they don't fit right. Like I'm saying, like you get them on and they're not tight as they're supposed to be and they're loose. You can actually send them back 2 times in a year, and they are located in Washington State. I don't know if I said that. And they'll walk you through the whole process. You can send them back 2 times, and they actually, what they do is, he was saying, they cut off the zipper and then they restitch it back on and make them like obviously smaller. But the most important thing is having the right measurements. And that was another thing that we experienced together, where one of my measurements for the outseam and the inseam was off. And he recommended that I take those, measurements again and actually send him pictures taking these measurements of where they have to be done. Because another good tip that he gave me was when you're measuring for the outseam is it's where you want your chap to go. So he said put the measuring tape on the top of the belt and put it down. And obviously you're going to wear the jeans and the boots that you wear when you're measuring, your for your chaps, because that's what you're going to be wearing. You're going to wear jeans and, your chaps are going to go over your pants. So that was another great tip that he gave me. And I love that he allowed me to send him pictures to see that I was measuring the right areas. And I even told him, I'm like, listen, when the chaps come, if it's okay, I'm gonna put them on. I'm gonna have somebody take a picture of me front and back just to make sure that they fit right, because I want to make sure, because I am not the expert. I mean, I know how they're supposed to fit, but I am not an expert. And after spending, all this money that you can spend on custom chaps, you want to make sure they fit right, right? So I'm super excited that I'm gonna have to show you guys what it looks like after when I get them. Another thing is trying to think what else. So like I said, it's just a great experience. Um, and I'm just so excited to get them. I don't even know what else to say, but just awesome. So please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video because, finding chaps or getting custom chaps can be a little scary, but, I'm trying to make it not. All right, bye, guys.